we have an extraordinary creation in Jimmy. Jimmy was diagnosed with brain tumors. 4 months old, I believe. We have an extraordinary story here of God working miracles in one's life. And Jimmy's mom now joins us. Lacey, welcome.
Hi, Crane. How are you?
Doing great. Great to have you on the program. And when I heard the story about, I guess now almost a month ago, about your son, I said,
Oh,
you know what? People need to hear about how God has worked in your life, in your family's life, in Jimmy's life particularly. Tell me what you learned on September 14th, 2010.
okay. Well, basically, my world stopped. My 4-month-old son was diagnosed with a visual pathway glioma brain tumor, which is a tumor near his optic nerve. And we kind of were devastated, to say the least, because we had a perfect pregnancy and, a great delivery, and we had a healthy baby up until 4 months old.
Mm-hmm. And upon
As
hearing
far
that,
as,
your husband, by the way, your husband's first name again, pardon?
his name is Jim.
Jim and you are sitting there with this news, obviously devastating. At that point, did you question your faith?
I'm going to say, of course,
Mm-hmm.
just because we were like, what is going on? We always kind of followed the rules and we did everything we thought we should do. And, according to the quote unquote right thing to do, we always did that. And so, of course, we were like, what is going on? Why? Of course, we said, why? Why is
Right.
this happening? And then, we got to the point where we were like, okay, we're going to refuse to ask why and not get angry anymore and just kind of focus on every single positive we can see, because we knew that our attitude had everything to do with how Jimmy was going to do. And a lot of people that were through that we spoke to in the hospital said that to us. They said, you got to, focus on everything that's good, because that's what your son will see. So we did that. And, of course, we cried and we, did everything we needed to do in that hospital. We stayed only one night in the hospital. We were fortunate enough to do that. And when we left that hospital, we were dead set on getting him healed, no matter what.
And did you pray specific? Go ahead. I'm sorry. Keep going,
okay.
please.
So we left the hospital, and we went, the next day we went to St. Anthony's Chapel, which is a little chapel that has over, I'm going to say, 1,000 relics and all kinds of different things in the church. And so I guess the point is anytime I walked in there, I felt God there. So we went there to pray for Jimmy, and we got out, we walked out, and we felt better. We felt like, I don't know, we felt like he was right there with us.
And in feeling that and praying, did you pray specifically for healing for Jimmy? I know that sounds like a silly question, but
no, it's not actually.
Go ahead.
We wanted him. We want him to be healed. We wanted him to be healed. Jimmy's tumor specifically, just so you get an idea, his tumor was a grade 1 glioma, which is the best because there's 4 different grades in gliomas. And being a grade 1 is the best case scenario. The problem is well, let me put it this way. It's 80% curable with radiation, but Jimmy can't get radiation until he's 10 years old because the effects would be so unreversible.
Mm-hmm.
So, he would be cured, but he would be in a vegetative state almost. So we kind of were like, how do we deal with that? So when we prayed, we were like, let's get a full healing on him. Let's heal him completely so we don't have to do all this without the radiation, without all this. So he has been through chemotherapy, and he has been through quite a bit as a little boy because they're so afraid of the optic nerve being affected. And believe it or not, one of our miracles is that Jimmy, having an optic glioma, has not had any problems with his vision. He can see 20/20 as of right now, which is amazing. And he will continue to do so, hopefully.
So he was diagnosed with his tumor, and he is going to be able to see 20/20. I mean, how did that? What did the doctors say to you?
well, they were like, well, he probably can't see. This is him at 4 months old. And I'm like, I know he can see. He can see.
That's awesome.
That motherly thing.
Yeah, you all are amazing. That's great. I love that.
We kind of argued. My husband and I both did. We were like, we know he can see. We know it. And we always encouraged him. We always looked at it. And we were like, this is not right. You guys are not telling us the right stuff because we know our son. We know him.
Yes.
And he could see, and he can still see, and we take him to an eye specialist every 3 months, and he can see, and he's doing very, very well. And I just, we kind of look at each other, my husband and I, and we just get these feelings of we're okay, like he's going to be okay.
That knowledge that like God puts that on your heart.
Yeah.
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 Wow.
He really does. I mean, we always do feel that. And I wasn't always that way. I wasn't always like being able to talk to God so freely and being able to do all that. Sometimes when you go through something like that, it kind of connects you to God. Like you have a direct line. You have to make that choice, but you do get that direct line to Him if you choose.
Yeah, and it sounds like you and your husband chose to reach out, and He's always right there. He never yells. He always whispers because He's right there with us in that way. And it's such an extraordinary story. Now, other than pray for Jimmy and your family, what can we do? Is there a Facebook page?
There
because
is.
The cutest kid in the world. I know we have a slide right now for those of you watching. You talk about, wow. Just, I mean, I sound like Brett Michaels. I use awesome so much, but it truly is awesome. And
he's a cool kid. He's a very cool kid. Definitely do that. My cousin Buddy set up the Facebook page for me the night I was in the hospital, and I didn't realize the impact it would have on me as Jimmy's mom, and how much it would affect me, but it did. It kind of made me feel like I had this army of people praying for my son that was helping, and was helping every single time he would walk into that hospital and walk out with good news. So he has only like 4,900 and some followers, and I'm like hoping he can get to 5,000 at some point soon because it's just a cool number. And so I'm hoping people listening will follow him and read his stories and be encouraged by him. He's incredible. He's the most vibrant kid you'd ever want to meet. He turns every frown into a smile. So he's that cool.
Yeah, he is. He is absolutely. You see the picture of him, and what I'm doing right now. You're 4,969. I think. Yeah, I think you'll get up to it. I'm going to share the page. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, no, I was going to say his page is called I'm Praying for Baby Jimmy Spagnolo, and he's not a baby anymore, but he's going to be 4 on Saturday. His birthday's coming on Saturday, and so he's gone from this 4-month-old infant in the hospital to this incredible 4-year-old little boy. So we've made it 4 years, which is pretty awesome. He's doing great.
Well, Lacey, to you, your husband Jim, and to your family, Jimmy, our very best. I'm going to share this. If I could do 2 things at once, I would do them, but I will do it post-show for sure, faux show, and we'll get it done. But thank you so much for sharing, and please, y'all come back, bring us updates on things, but God bless you, and thank you for telling us about your wonderful, wonderful Jimmy. Thank you.
Thank you, Crane, so much. You take